Today's video is all about the stock market. Now, I'm no financial expert, but over the years I've made quite a considerable amount of money from shares and done pretty handsomely from it. So I'm going to be telling you all about how to buy stocks and shares, where to do it, what platforms to use, and more importantly, we're going to be looking at companies like Tesla that have made people considerable amounts of money, including me, and which other stocks may just have the potential of going Tesla. Let's get the basics of stocks and shares out of the way. Now, many people describe stocks and shares as a form of gambling, and in some respects they can be right. You should only invest what you put into stocks and shares, what you're willing to possibly lose or risk if you're not investing in a company which we consider risk-free. But even some risk-free companies in the past have lost a lot of money. I, for one, in the very early days, invested a lot of money in banking shares, and we all remember what happened in the financial crash to banking shares. They crashed through the floor, and they were known as what they call blue chip companies that just couldn't lose share value. So bear in mind, whatever you invest in shares, there is a small chance that you could half or lose all your investment. You should be able to invest in a company that you trust, a company that you think should grow. And the companies I'm going to talk about are electric car companies, companies that have definitely got growth, companies that have got good financial grounds, and also companies that I believe in, companies that we all believe should do well, therefore they should do well. Now, share prices go up and down all during trading hours constantly. They can fluctuate fairly predictably, but they can shoot up and down pretty much all the way through the market. Trading prices are decided on a couple of things, mainly people buying and selling the shares that day. More people selling shares, the price goes down. More people buying shares, prices go up. And that's just one dynamic that counters into share prices, but many more things play factors at changing share prices. In fact, companies' profits coming out and being very good, people will buy more shares and drive that price up, or the profit being not as good as expected will drive prices down. Now, with this in mind, and the fact I've just mentioned it's gambling, or a form of gambling, but in my mind it's not, it's an investment. If you are putting money into stocks and shares, bear in mind that if you put money in, you may be taking money out if you need it. If you need the boiler breaks or some emergency, if you need that money, bear in mind that when you take it out, it might not be worth what you invested. So only invest money in there that you're not going to desperately need all of a sudden for an emergency. Make this your long-term investment egg that you're not going to touch. Think of it as a locked away ISA for 5 years, or a locked away something for several years that you're not going to touch. Now, you're going to need a trading platform to trade shares on. Now, I've used several companies in the past. I used HSBC's direct system and the fees were quite high. I've used a company called AJ Bell, which charged me a monthly subscription for having an account with them. And I've just recently decided to go down these new trading routes, which are all popping up all over the place. And the one I'm using at the moment is called Free Trade. Hint by its name, it is free to trade as long as you don't have a special ISA account with them, which you don't really need unless you're trading very large volumes of money. But Free Trade, sign up with a free account. If you use my link at evnick.com/free share, you will, as the link indicates, get a free share for trading on there. It's a really good account, and if you've got an Apple phone like me, you can use Apple Pay to top up the account balance to buy shares pretty much instantly. Now, your next step is to decide which company you're going to invest in. And now this is really important because you should be investing in companies that you believe in, and rather than investing in companies that you don't believe in. For example, I don't believe in oil, so I won't be investing in oil companies, and I also believe that oil companies will see their profits drop and therefore their share price will fall dramatically. And by buying shares, you are indicating to the market that you are invested in this company, and the longer you hold a share, the better it is for that company's growth, because people aren't selling their shares, crashing their share price. So the more people that hold shares, the better it is for that overall company. And as an electric car channel, all the shares I'm going to be talking about are electric car or green related. Tesla shares. It has to be mentioned in a video about electric vehicle stock. Am I going to mention Tesla shares? Well, I've got to mention them because they've done the best stock ever. But do I think there is still investment opportunities and places to make money in Tesla stock based at their current price of $845 a share being split 5 ways? No, I honestly think that Tesla have they're having a dot-com boom, sort of speaking. It's a lot of people buying them under hype and driving those sale prices up. And if those people will hold their shares forever and don't care about selling them because they literally just want Tesla to grow, then they may keep going up. But if these people eventually want to buy a house or car or other things with that money, they will sell their Tesla shares and the price will come back down to what it should be. I personally do think it's too high, but I have been wrong in the past. I sold my shares way earlier than this, and I mean way earlier. It's a really bitter subject for me, but I made good money, and that's one important rule to have with shares, is when you buy a share, have a set sale price, have a set target that you're willing to take as profit and stick to it, because if you don't, you'll hold and it could drop and you'll be even more upset than me missing out on potential money, because I still made money, I didn't lose any. And that's what you need to look at. As long as you've set a target that you're going to sell at and you get that target and you sell at, be happy, even if they carry on going up, because they could have just as well gone down. But this is why with today's video we're going to be looking at other companies that could just multiply like Tesla that haven't already. Now, one stock that might do this is often referred to as the Chinese version of Tesla, and that is Nio. N-I-O is the trading name, and Tesla, by the way, is TSLA if you want to look for Tesla shares, if you do still want to buy Tesla shares, because if they do go full self-driving, yes, they will probably increase quite some more on their current share price, and I will be wrong yet again. But yeah, if you want to buy Nio, it's N-I-O, and they're often considered to be the Chinese Tesla. Now, to put it in perspective, they've seen some big growth. Nowhere near what Tesla have seen, but they've seen some big growth. They went from $2 a share in 2020 to now trading at over $56 a share, that is a dramatic jump, and it could keep going. If they eventually do a Tesla, they will just keep multiplying. At $56 a share, they are, in my mind, a cheap share to buy. They're a cheap investment to go. Now, free trade does let you buy split divisional shares, so you don't have to buy one full $56 share. You don't have to buy one full Tesla share at $836. You could just invest £100, £200 of money, and they will buy the exact amount of splits of shares that you invested. If you bought a Nio share at the start of the year at $2, you'd have owned 250 shares. Quite a dramatic amount of shares. But if you sold them today, you'd be getting $56 a share. Answers at the bottom how much that's worth. Let me know in the comments. Tesla shares in 2016 were $2.77, and they are now trading at over $800 a share. So yes, Nio could keep going. They could do a Tesla. Now, the next company I'm going to mention is kind of a double hit of companies. So the company is called CIIG Merger, and they're traded as CIIC on the stock market if you want to find them on free trade. They are basically an acquired company. They acquire companies under their umbrella, they buy companies, and they seek investment, grow the companies, manage the companies, etc. And one of the companies that this company owns is ARVL. ARVL, often referred to as the UK's version of Rivian trucks. And it's a great company. They make electric vans, they make electric buses, they make electric transport devices. Basically, they try and move stuff and people to locations using big industrial sized vehicles. Now, at the moment they don't make any trucks, but very likely that they will go down the truck route. But at the moment it's just buses and vans, post office vans, UPS vans, stuff like that. They have some decent good orders, and CIIC, the share, has seen some dramatic growth since they've been having ARVL as one of their van companies. Now, ARVL is due to be turned into its own separate trading company for the stock market, but as of yet it isn't. It's still incorporated under this umbrella company. But if you're waiting for the ARVL stock and they've eventually started trading, if you keep checking for this code, which is ARVL, is their trading stock name on the stock market when they eventually do go live. Now, I just mentioned Rivian, but Rivian are not currently on the stock market. They are not a traded company on the stock market, but they may eventually be on the stock market. And with investment from Amazon and other companies, I'm sure it will do very well if it does eventually go public. But as of yet, you can't invest in the Rivian stock, which is why it's not on the list. Now, if you don't want to tie all your eggs into one basket, you can split your money across all these shares. And as I said, free share will let you buy proportion of shares. So say you've only got £100 to invest, you could split between all these companies and spread your bets. And that's the best way of doing it. If you have a large amount of money, you're better splitting it over several shares and seeing how they do. Now, another way of splitting your investment, rather than buying each individual share yourself, you can invest in what they call ETFs. ETFs are a group of shares lumped together, and they track their index score, and basically their price, the price that you see on these ETFs is reflected in what the index score over those group of company is. Now, one that's particularly sort of good for EV people, electric car people, and people into green tech is one that tracks green stock. And one of them that's done particularly well is Global Clean Energy. And if you search for Global Clean Energy on the free trade app, it will come up there. And that is one lumped group of shares. Almost think of it almost like a hedge fund. It's a pre-made hedge fund with different green companies that track all green companies, and it tracks green companies that are sustainable countries in renewable energy. So it's a good spread bet between several different companies rather than just one set sector. And if you want to invest in that, give that one a go. All these trading teams, all these trading companies, all these platforms, they all have their own ways of dealing with ETFs, and this is just one of them. Thanks very much for watching this week's video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Now, if you know a share that you think is going to be the next Tesla or GameStop share, then let me know down in the comments. I'm dying to know what it is, but it's got to be EV or green related. Thanks very much for watching this week's video, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.